It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
What's
Good
up,
morning, everyone. This is Gary K and Steph.
Beckett? I was like, do you want me to complete that?
This is the industry's only live weekly TV show, and what we
True.
basically do is curate the news. And we got some big news today, including a product launch that you may or may not have noticed. I posted it on my LinkedIn yesterday. A brand new product from Shure, and we got the team from Shure on here to talk about it. But lots of stuff going on in the industry.
Yeah.
Stuff.
We have a guest from Crestron joining too, because Crestron came out with like 5 new products last week. So just a lot going on right before ISC. So we're here to kind of help you guys break it down a little bit. First of all, if you are attending ISC next week and you for some reason have not registered to actually like attend
I don't even
ISC
know.
next week, if you forgot that part, you can still use our code. It's just all one word, rAVe Pubs, all caps, and that gets you your free pass onto the show floor. We have our microsite up and running. I've added over 100 pre-ISC news stories there so far, and we have like 30 press releases. So plenty for you to peruse, plenty of like things for you to check out. If you are trying to kind of map out your show a little bit, you have to, because it's so huge. But yes.
Yeah, and I've been already done a bunch of podcasts. I know you have too.
Yeah.
With brands talking about the products they're going to launch. A lot of companies have new products. It's going to be an exciting show. Probably the most kind of new creative products that I've seen
For
in
a
couple
while,
of years.
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing those in person. But we talked a little bit real quickly last week,
Yeah.
Steph, about the Sony TCL joint venture
Yep.
that's going to be created sometime this year. And I've read probably 30 articles, no exaggeration, on
Yeah.
what's going to happen with this. And I decided to blog about it because everything I've read is not correct. That's interesting. I think most companies have basically looked at it from the lens of a consumer and how it would affect consumers.
Yeah.
But I looked at it from both lenses, and basically it comes down to this. This is a good thing. Like, if I were competing with Sony right now, I'd be a little concerned. And the reason for that is you've now done, and my blog talks about this, you've now given basically Sony what Apple does. Apple's a marketing company, creates really cool, innovative products, has somebody else outsources think about this. They outsource the manufacturing, they outsource the distribution, right? They outsource all logistics for the product. And what they do is focus on selling and marketing products. That's about what's going to happen here. TCL has giant factories in China. They're now, instead of Sony dealing with literally 10 different manufacturers for displays, for example, going to have one brand that does everything for them. They're going to handle logistics for them. And all of a sudden you're going to have Sony becoming a brand again rather than a manufacturer and a logistics company. And the thing about Sony is that, as I talk about in the blog, is Sony has really good input video processing.
Yes.
No other brand has been, even the other competitive brands will admit their video input processing is better. That's why you pay more for Sony, though. Sony is the most expensive TV brand, and in signage and display technology usually is the most expensive or close to the most expensive brand. Those costs could go down now that they don't have to buy from their competitors and they have their own product line. And I do think it's going to have a big impact on the commercial AV market, although that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Which, yeah, I mean, I love the point that you made that Sony's power has never been the panel itself. It's been about the processing. So now that they are outsourcing the thing that they already is not their like bread and butter, and now that can potentially bring things to be a little bit cheaper, a little bit quicker to market. Yeah, I see
think
this
about
as,
when you order an iPhone,
yeah,
when you pre-order it,
Yeah.
guess where it comes from?
Um,
China. They literally direct ship it
yeah,
directly to you from China, from the Foxconn factory.
yeah,
And so what's going to end up happening is what happened with Apple, or with Apple, is that they now have, they don't have to worry about the manufacturing side of it. They don't have to worry about the distribution and the
right.
logistics side of it. Same thing's going to happen with Sony. So if I'm a competitor, before I wasn't maybe taking them as serious because they are more expensive and they didn't have as large of a product line. They
Yeah.
had a very narrow product line compared to LG, for example, which has every kind of product. I think Sony's going to have everything. I
Yeah.
don't think they'll stay in the projector market, though. I think the projector market,
Okay.
Epson has won that battle in projectors, and it's unfortunate because I have an XR, the 4K reflective LCD technology
Yeah.
in my theater at home, and that is a killer projector. But I think Sony's going to totally get out of projectors this year,
Interesting.
and Epson will be declared the winner in every category. So
Well,
yeah,
it's like very monopolized at this point.
I
Like,
wouldn't call it. It's
like
definitely not a monopoly. Everyone tried to compete in that market. There was fair competition there, and what you have is a shrinking market. It's
yeah,
definitely not going to be challenged as any kind of monopoly because you still have DLP technology, right? You still
that's
have a whole
true.
different technology out
That's
there,
true.
but most people tend to
But
prefer in a lot of applications LCD.
even people who are not in our industry, if I go like, who makes projectors? They're
Yeah,
like, Epson. I know Epson.
yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, if you go walk around college campuses, Epson projectors are everywhere.
everywhere.
They dominate. It's interesting. Epson interestingly dominates every category they enter.
Yeah.
So remember, you heard it here first. This could be a good scoop here,
Oh,
Steph.
well,
When Epson launches LED,
oh,
watch
geez.
out
No
because
way.
so far
No
they've
way.
been a leader in every. Oh, they will eventually. I guarantee you. They'll eventually do it. They
I
will do
don't
it.
think so.
Oh, I
But
definitely believe they'll
all
do it.
right, I'll eat my words. I'll apologize
All right.
to everyone who
When
watches and
they
also
do,
you.
I'd watch out if I'm a manufacturer there because so far every category they've entered, they've taken the leadership position.
All
So
right. Well, you
it
heard
might
it here
happen sooner than
first.
you realize.
And if Gary's right, I have to apologize to him on air.
You do not. But hey, check this out. This is the product I helped launch this product, kind of in a way, kind of in a weird way. For sure, Shure sent us a release. I immediately went and grabbed the video before they
Yeah.
even posted it or they'd even promoted it on their own social for the IntelliMix Bar Pro, which is their first video bar. They're making their own camera now. Check this video out. This is an awesome piece.
Every team deserves an extraordinary meeting experience, but sometimes obstacles get in the way. That's why we created the IntelliMix.
Oh, uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I
What
think
happened? Our producer
that
said, "You're live again." We'll come back to that without any explanation. So are we
I
supposed
think
to?
the video okay. The
Oh,
video sometime I don't think the video processed how she wanted it to when
is
she
she going to
pulled it
read it? Are we going
through.
to show the video?
Yes, she
Okay,
just
we're going to
needs
show the.
to
All right. In the meantime, it's a video bar product, an all-in-one product. And what's interesting, we'll show the video in just a second. What's interesting about this is, Shure has partnerships with other camera companies out there, Hudley and Incorporated.
Yeah.
But they've now incorporated their own camera inside of a video bar product, and of course, their secret sauce has been the audio processing, right? I mean,
Mhm.
in the microphone array technology that they have, it's that and what's happened here is that there's this huge market, right, for accessories, and I hate to use that term. I don't think that's the right term. I mean, a lot of brands use the term appliances in the
Yeah.
categories, which I also don't like that term because I think of refrigerator when I think of that.
Well,
But
then what's your term?
I don't know. I mean, it's more than accessories because these products are not, I called it audio glue for them in the piece that
Yeah.
I wrote up.
Yeah.
But it's more than that even because it used to be secondary, meaning we'd pick
Mhm.
our projector first, we'd pick
Mhm.
our display first, right? And then we would then pick the control system, and then we pick all the accessories. Well, guess what? The accessories are now as important, if not more important, because the accessories are the ones that are allowing the remote participants to feel like they're part of the meeting. The accessories are the ones that are making it where the people in the back of the room can hear.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I teach in a classroom that has 3 of the walls are glass, Steph, as you know.
Right. I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 40 foot by 28 foot, 45 foot by 28 foot classroom. And without AV over IP technology and without really cool DSP audio processing, you would be blasting out some people in the room and not others. Whereas we're able to figure out where the weak spots are in the room for the listener based on the number of people in the room in real time, and then raise the volume of the speakers in that one part of the room.
Right.
That's primary technology. That's not secondary technology.
True.
You have to really kind of think this out, because when you have, surfaces where audio is bouncing around, being able to hear something is different than being able to understand it. And
That's true.
where Shure has been a magical company.
Well, the video is ready now, so we can go ahead and roll that, and then let's bring on our guest.
All right, cool.
Every team deserves an extraordinary meeting experience, but sometimes obstacles get in the way. That's why we created the IntelliMix Bar Pro.
Just play it all the way through.
With powerful video performance for more clarity. And with AI camera framing that keeps everyone in focus. So no one's left out of the picture. Designed for IT, secure, cloud managed, simple. The bar that removes barriers.
All right.
It's between that one and the first one. They both seem pretty good to me.
Yeah.
But, all right, we got a guest, right?
Yeah, let's bring on our guest. So welcome Josh to rAVe TV. Everyone welcome him. Josh Blaylock, first of all, this is big, huge news. So congratulations.
Well, I'm not surprised.
You know,
news for sure, but come on. We all knew that was going to happen.
We did announce the MDEP partnership with Microsoft last year, right? You could draw a few conclusions in the industry at that point, but
That's true.
It is huge news. We're very excited. Cannot wait to show this off in person at ISE this next week.
Yeah, and I like the design. It is different than what other video bars, a lot of video bars out there look. I mean, you guys went for a different aesthetic.
We wanted to show up to the party with something truly innovative and truly useful and valuable in that, and it shows in the design. When you look at it from the front, the first thing that hits you is something that's really new for us as far as bringing a product to market, and that's the way we approached video, and you see that right there in the design. So
yeah. Well, Steph was nice enough to write some questions here, so we make sure we ask them. I'm going to ask the first one, if it's all right with you, Steph. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Shure already had IntelliMix products in the market. I'm just kidding.
Reading it like that.
Actually, I like her question. I'm not going to read it exactly, but tell us what's new about the IntelliMix Bar Pro, other than obviously as a camera, and talk about the camera a little bit too. Talk about some of the specs.
Yeah, so very good point, right? We launched the IntelliMix Room Kits last year, and that was we've been in the conferencing space for a while with audio peripherals, almost accessories, if you want to use that term, right? But we brought a full room system to the market, actually multiple bundles to capture every room size. And this is the evolution of that journey, right? Sticking with that IntelliMix processing theme, one of the beauties of the IntelliMix Room Kits was that onboard DSP and all the really cool things that can do for audio in the room. You guys talked a little bit about that before I came on. And that has been carried forward into the bar, right? We wanted to extend our portfolio, get into new room types, but continue to bring that audio processing via the onboard DSP. And so that's there. 24 microphones on board. It's going to be certified at shipping for large room spaces, right? So it's meant for the medium and large spaces. It can fill a big room with good premium audio and pick up people throughout that room in all kinds of great ways. But then the video side of it is where we really, it was fun to roll up sleeves and do something cool and new in that space, because that is new for us. What's unique and different about that is the fact that there's 4 cameras, they're 4K, and they bring that together a collection of modes that we call IntelliMix View. The modes themselves are not industry net new, right? You've got speaker tracking capability, group framing, and what we call participant mode. Everybody gets their own little box, up to 4 people in the room. The way that we do that, though, is where the innovation comes in, and that's because 2 of those cameras are moved out to the very edges of the bar there. What that allows us to do is say you don't need additional cameras in the room with additional cabling and setup and all that to capture those cross table shots and get optimal views of the speaker. You think about that long conference room, someone sitting halfway down, we want to zoom in on their face. Well, we do from the middle of the table, but we also have a quarter of, Josh's face cutting off Adam's face there, and it's an awkward shot sometimes. When you have the cameras at the side, you can now get rid of that awkward quarter face and have a nicely cropped in view of whoever you're zoning in on. So that's IntelliMix View.
Very cool.
I wanted to know, why now was the time for Shure to start building cameras into the platform instead of, obviously, y'all will continue partnering externally for certain scenarios, but why now was the time to bring it into your own platform?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, some great partnerships already there. We work with Hudley on the IntelliMix room kits. Got a camera partner program that is starting to grow and expand for those that have other choices for cameras on their rooms. But we wanted to go the all-in-one video bar route as part of the expansion of the portfolio, right? So we needed to start doing some of that developing ourselves and bringing in some of our own IntelliMix processing magic to that scene. And the time now in terms of being able to build a bar and bring cameras into it the time was ripe, I think, largely due to the fact that Microsoft has launched into this MDEP program over the last couple of years. It's starting to mature a lot. You're getting a lot more partners that are joining it. That's bringing standardization to enterprises right there through MDEP, through the security it brings, the update management that it brings. And so for us, the opportunity to join into that program, strengthen our relationship with Microsoft, and build a device that was based on that with our own magic sauce and our own camera system. It was just a perfect time for the market. From a customer perspective, they've asked for this, right? They love that we have solutions for every room size, Windows-based options, but there's a very big segment of the market that wants the appliances, the Android side of it, for the more plug-and-play approach to rooms. So no time like the present to jump into that and begin developing something that customers are asking for.
Well, Joel, real quickly, talk about the DSP. And, obviously that's your heritage is audio. And is it Dante? Is it AV over IP capable? Are you addressing any IPMX or any of the standards? Or have you thought about some of these other options with regard to bringing audio in and out?
Yeah. So, I mean, the main goal there is the device stands on its own in a large space, right? It doesn't need external audio. It will beautifully fill a large room all on its own with the onboard speaker and mic array with that DSP. The DSP is doing all sorts of great things as well. You've got the PEQ, AI deverb, AI denoiser, a few other capabilities in there that we have fine-tuned and honed in on that are really cleaning up the audio to make sure that the AI platform on the back end, it will be launching with Microsoft Teams Rooms, right? That all the cool things that Copilot can do there and other platforms in the future, it's getting the best possible audio coming in. Because again, that is our heritage. Good call out. But yes, to the point that you mentioned and what you asked about there are a number of ports at the back, number of Ethernet ports. And so one of those future-facing capabilities that we'll have shortly after launch, but it will be the ability to connect in, other peripherals from our audio lineup, right? So if you've got something that goes beyond your average large room, and you need to maybe an odd space, something that you just want to boost the audio pickup or audio delivery to further in that room, there will be a select device or two at a slightly future date in which you can extend the audio on that bar. But again, for your average large rooms where you want an all-in-one plug-and-play device, you won't need to do that.
100%. So for those who, I don't know, for whatever reason are not familiar with MDEP, being built on the Microsoft device ecosystem platform is a big move from you guys. So if you want to talk through a little bit about what this unlocks for IT teams, enterprise deployments, what that's all about.
Absolutely. And building a large bar, you're targeting a product that's going to be enterprise ready for your organization in many ways. Again, it was a no-brainer to partner with Microsoft on the MDEP program. It is becoming, when customers are looking to Android in the space, this is becoming a point of standardization for them. And it takes the worry for them out of security because a lot of those early Android bar conversations from customers in the industry were, yeah, but it's Android. Isn't that kind of like my phone? That's like, there's all kinds of security concerns. And it was a difficult conversation to have for any manufacturer building an Android-based bar. That's where the conversation now, when you're partnered with Microsoft on MDEP, customers are like, we already know them for building operating systems. We trust them.
Yeah.
We trust their security background. We believe they know what they're doing when it comes to security on MDEP, and a company that is partnering with them, that they get that peace of mind right there. So I think that's point number one that gets unlocked, is it alleviates a bit of that security concern. The other big thing that customers were always worried about was updates. Not just operating system updates, but product updates. How they're delivered, the cadence at which they're delivered, that was a concern for a lot of customers. And that, again, is standardized, made enterprise ready through the MDEP delivery platform. So that's kind of really the big focus and deal there.
All right. Well, look, you're going to be at ISE. You're going to launch it officially, physically at ISE. People, of course, have heard about it. I don't know if you looked at my LinkedIn post, but there are hundreds of interactions with that, and a lot of people are talking about it, and they're excited about it. I don't think it was totally surprising. I think what you did with the 4 cameras is really unique. Suggestion for the future, something you ought to consider is having the ability to add cameras to the room wirelessly, because you're correct about the wire, and you're correct about USB-C. And I know that you guys have the technology to do that, so something to think about.
We're not done building. We have an eye on innovation for the future as well. So I love the feedback. Love that.
But it's going to do really well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing it in person. And like he said, it's for not for tiny rooms. It's for medium and large rooms. It's going to be certified that's as such. He basically already hinted to the fact that it'll be certified, which means probably not just Microsoft, but also Zoom and others, because all the platforms exist. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. This has been awesome.
Thanks for having me.
You can actually read a full story and watch the video on our website at ravepubs.com. Everything is there. And of course, you can go to shure.com and search it as well. And they have some great information about how the technology works and the angles of the camera. He'll explain that, because when you're thinking about it with the cameras on the outside, they're going to shoot across the table diagonally. You have to, if you kind of go there, it'll explain to you what he's talking about there. You get kind of a different view, and also how video summing works. We all kind of understand the term audio summing, but this is sort of like video summing. So congratulations, Joel. We will see you at ISE. Yeah. And of course, Shure is a sponsor of Rave TV and has been a sponsor since the very beginning. And one of our other sponsors has been Crestron. And I want you to watch this piece from Crestron, because as Steph said, they launched a bunch of new products. So we're going to come back with Joel from Crestron in just a minute when we get back.
All right, so
let's bring Joel on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring our guest on.
Joel Mulpeter, who is the Senior Director of Product Marketing. Hey, Joel, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Sorry that last interview went a little longer than we had planned, but you guys hosted the Engineering a Culture of Collaboration virtual event last week. I did a shout out to Brad asking why I wasn't invited. Actually, I was invited.
I was invited. But I went. Don't worry.
It was while I was teaching, so I missed it. I was just kind of kidding with him. He and I had this kind of like spat going on about being invited to each other's things.
Right.
And I'm excited about the event you're having at ISE, which we'll talk about in just a second. But tell me what you guys were doing with this event.
Yeah, so we had an event, we called it, as you said, Engineering a Culture of Collaboration. We launched a bunch of really key products that we're going to have coming to market all across, parts of 2026. But the whole point there was talking about what's changed in hybrid work, right? Hybrid work is obviously present. It's what we do. It's become the standard. It doesn't change, right? But what we need to do to make sure hybrid work is effective is to make sure the infrastructure, which is what we do as an industry, all the products and boxes that make that work, is ready for it, ready for what's happening now, and ready for what's happening in the future as well. So we really position this all around the idea that our engineering products, they're enabling collaboration in the workplace. And when people are collaborating in the workspace, they're going in for good reason. Culture's thriving, and people are getting the most out of those work experiences.
Absolutely. So within this event, you guys announced like 5 new products. So I would love if you could now kind of walk us through each 5 of those.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, we did release 5 things. It feels like
Which is crazy, by the way. I was like, oh my God, I got to write this down while I'm watching it.
So yeah, it really all started with the collab compute, right, which is that video you saw just before this. Really, that heart or that core of the hybrid meeting experience. We really took the idea of like this compute, this device that's running that meeting, and wanted to look at how do we make this so practical and so usable, both for the people in the room, but also the installers and then the IT managers that have to look after this long term. So we spent a lot of time thinking about the inconsistent experience that can be driven as you deploy Teams rooms and Zoom rooms across many spaces, especially spaces that change in size. And we wanted to make this one size fits all that helps to do all of that. We also wanted to look at the professional AV side of it, right? We obviously do things like AV over IP, video extension, audio extension, all those things, and control system side of things. We wanted to make sure this supported everything we needed as an industry to go beyond just a Teams rooms experience. We make sure we could extend that video, we could bring the right sources in, we could integrate things like multiple touch panels around network devices, and then also supporting things like multi-display across modern formats like USB-C. So really spent a lot of time focusing on all the I/O. Sometimes it looks like a lot. The idea is it has everything you need for all those spaces. You don't have to use it all.
So your collab computes obviously kind of hints at potentially a bunch of new stuff. It seems like to me. It seems like you're going deeper into the compute and platform layer space with your ecosystem. Where, like, I mean, it's not just you didn't just take a third-party product and repackage it, which is what a lot of companies have done. Talk about kind of the direction you're going here, because this is quite unique.
Yeah, this is purpose built. It is probably the word you'll say it's used a fair bit. But yeah, it is built by Crestron. You see obviously the Crestron branding on there. It doesn't look like a PC or a compute.
Yeah.
But inside in the core of it, there is an Intel Core Ultra processor. We're running NPUs and AI processing in there on that Intel Core Ultra. But everything outside of that is really custom built for deploying a codec or an appliance inside of an AV space. So, you don't typically pick up a compute off the shelf and find a DM Essentials port on there, or the amount of HDMIs and USB-Cs we have on there. So we really spent a lot of time thinking about what a meeting room needed. Again, across that gamut of rooms and types of rooms that our customers have these days, and make sure that you could consistently put that same compute in every single one of those spaces. Obviously helps the consistency of the user, right? They get that same experience every time, but also from an IT and serviceability point of view, and the people have to deploy these things as well, which today we're deploying more rooms than ever before. So we need to make sure that they're easy to do and consistent.
Absolutely. Talk about auto measure a little bit too.
Yeah, so auto measure, really exciting update to what we do with Automate VX, or our multi-camera systems. So Automate VX obviously handling the multiple cameras in a high impact or what we often call a sightline space, and handling those cameras and making sure that they understand where everything is. So as people speak, we can capture the best shot in the room. We do that with telemetry from microphones to understand where people are in the room, crunch a bunch of numbers, and then on the output of that is we're picking shots so that we get people centered in the frame, and we follow the conversation around the room. As you deploy Automate VX, there's a lot of measuring, right? You have to sit there and measure every microphone, every camera, because we need to be spatially aware of where everything is in that room to make those decisions. So auto measure simplifies that. It's that cube that you just saw pop up on the screen then. That has an Aruco code on it. We call them auto measure cubes, but they have an Aruco code on them. You mount that to the microphone, and then you hit auto measure. And then using computer vision inside of Automate VX, we're letting the system self-collaborate, calibrate, sorry, and it is using the cameras to scan those cubes, just sitting on each microphone, and then all those measurements that were previously manually done are now done automatically using computer vision.
Very interesting. That's interesting technology. It seems like you're going for more than with this product, with this series of products. You're going for more than just traditional meeting rooms. That you have a lot of applications outside of that, and also could go into spaces that right now are not considered collaboration spaces, like classrooms and others. Is that intentional, or is that sort of like just accidental?
Yeah, no, it certainly could. I mean, things like Automate VX, yes, makes sense for sending to a far end.
Yeah.
There's lots of situations where we're blending Automate VX with a broadcast system of some kind, or it's just doing in-room video, iMag right in the room. Again, those classrooms that don't need to send it to the far end, or a recording for a later date, right, to an LMS or something.
Yeah.
But they're just simply in the room itself. It's a big space. They want to capture that and put it up on the screen. We get heaps of use cases for that with Automate VX.
All right, well, that's cool. So at ISE, you'll be in the same place you've always been, which is right there in Hall 3. Technically, the booth number is H300. If you go down the escalator, you'll see it. If you're walking between the halls, you'll see it. And a lot of new products. You're going to need to take some time when planning to go to Crestron's booth/stand at the show. Steph, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And just really quickly, Joel, there were 3 more things that I wanted to really briefly touch on. Obviously, we've got the 80 series touchscreens. Real quick, what's new about those?
Yeah, 80 series touchscreens, dedicated scheduling, touchscreen, UC, dedicated control, really wrapped around the 3 touch points of any meeting space, right? Schedule outside, run your UC, call inside, and then you want to control the space. So the latest generation of touchscreens, all built on MDEP in this case as well.
Very cool. And then last 2 things, I want to talk about the new One Beyond real quick. If you could walk us through that.
Yeah, I12D, so kind of sitting between a standard camera or single camera and Automate VX, multiple cameras in one device, dual head, speaker tracking built in, really focused on plug and play, turnkey deployment. Set this thing up, plug it in a couple of minutes, and you're running with speaker tracking, group framing, extend to other cameras over the network as well. Some really, really cool features in an all-in-one product.
And then finally, the intelligent audio devices.
Yep, so a brand new audio platform, DMNAX Intelligent Audio, taking our pedigree of AV over IP, injecting that into a collaboration platform. So here we have things like a pod. This is a mic speaker pod. We have other devices in this ecosystem, but the whole point here is trying to deploy audio on scale across many spaces. This is modular, grows through those spaces. You simply add more pods if you need more pods in a room. It all goes back to one central common hub called our audio processor. So you're deploying, again, that common experience in every space.
Awesome. Well, Joel, thank you so much. We will definitely see you at Crestron's booth, which is 3H300 for everyone watching. So have a safe flight, and we will see you in Barcelona.
Awesome. See you guys there.
Bye, Joel.
Looking forward to it. There's a lot
I know,
of new
like
stuff
that. I cannot wait to get my hands on all of those products. You were right, Gary. This is like the ISE of ISEs in terms of like new things that are going to be there. And speaking of which, we have just a few stories that we wanted to run by everybody watching before we go. Symmetrics actually had like a pretty big announcement the other day, which was, I think it's pronounced Cognio, which is a new software-driven audio-video control platform, which they say is designed to simplify AV system design, deployment, operation through this code-free workflow. So I'm excited to kind of head over to this booth and kind of check that out a little bit. It's scheduled to be available in Q2 of this year, but I would love to get a demo and exactly see how this works. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think the demo will probably explain it better. Another introduction that was done this week was, or last week, I should say, is Logitech launched the Rally AI camera and the Rally AI Camera Pro, which are PTZ cameras, multi-camera cameras, and you can install them on the ceiling, wall, or in-wall mount, and a lot of options, but it allows them to get into much larger meeting rooms, classrooms, town hall spaces. And so, yeah, they're kind of entering a larger space. I mean, they are Logitech is like the last big peripheral only company, meaning that's it.
That's absolutely True. And they're, again, that we've talked about this before. Logitech is so big that they almost don't need to get
Yeah.
into anything else because
Yeah.
they are just as well known in the consumer space as they are the Pro AV space.
Agreed.
And
Yep.
so, you know, why mess with something that has clearly worked for years upon years? Because everyone's webcams, you know, a lot of the webcams that I see everyone using, the Logitech Brio, it's like one of the only ones that's less than $200 on the market and, you know, does a really good job. As well as using the Logidock at people's desks I've seen. And plus, like, everyone uses Logitech keyboards and mice. Like, you know, it's one
Yeah.
of those things that the peripherals, they just work. So why mess with perfection at this point, you know?
Yep.
Last big kind of piece of news, Ames is going to officially launch IPMX as a standard this year at ISE, which I thought was pretty interesting. IPMX has obviously been around, which is Internet Protocol Media Experience, but this is the first year it's going to kind of be at ISE as a true blue certifiable standard, which
Yeah,
is
I mean, it was
really,
adopted as
really
a standard
exciting.
last year. It's just official now, and now
Yeah.
they're going to come to the show for the first time of it being a standard.
So pretty exciting. I'm very excited to see more things utilize IPMX. I've got a soft spot for it. So we are going to watch a quick video from our last Rave TV sponsor, ViewSonic, showing a little bit of their new DV LED series. And then Gary and I are going to come back, close out our show with a few things that we don't want you to miss this month.
I think we're back.
Of course, obviously. Okay.
I don't
Great.
think I have to unmute.
Thank you.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm unmuted. But anyway, we got some virtual events coming up that you should go ahead and sign up for. One of them, because we've been talking a lot about ISE while we've been talking live today, is a replay ISE event that Steph and I will do on February 17th at 2 p.m., which will be curated ISE products. So we'll pick the best videos, best products that we shot videos of, and we'll also do the awards for ISE. That'll all be, and you can register, by the way, by, just going to launch.com, lavnch.com. It'll be awesome because it'll be curated. And then Steph, there's an AI. We got an AI thing going, don't we?
Yes, we do. On February 26th, this is called AI Data and Trust. I've been kind of doing just one launch and learn per month on something that I think is interesting and happening in the industry. And this is the one for February. So this is going to be what system owners need to evaluate before adopting AI-driven technologies. And this is one that the crowd has asked for. Someone asked me at the end of kind of an AI-focused session during one of the launch weeks. They were like, I'd love to talk a little bit more about AI and ethics. So I said, period, we'll do it. So we're doing that in February. So you can go ahead and sign up for that as well. So
yeah, that's it. We're done.
That's it. We're done. Our next show is going to be next Tuesday. Actually Monday, we're going to kind of walk the show floor before it officially opens. And then Tuesday, our first official at the show, ISE Rave TV. So Gary, the next time I see you, it's going to be in Spain.
Yep. I look forward to it. And thanks for joining us, everyone. We will come to you live multiple times from the show floor at ISE, at least four. So join in each day and you'll check it out. We'll, of course, put everything on LinkedIn. So if you can't find it, just go to my LinkedIn page or go to Ray Pub's LinkedIn page and you'll find a link for it.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Bye, everyone. See you in Spain.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary.